Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's full moon meditation session. My name is B, can you hear me? Okay. Hi. Okay, let me start over. So, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're from. My name is B. I am a volunteer at the Georgia Meditation Center, and welcome to our full moon meditation session tonight. So before we get started, we always like to do the quote of the day. And thank you. I didn't have to say it. I got a number 7. Thank you, Paxton. And that's my favorite number. So I'm so happy you chose number 7. All right. So with that, number 7, the quote is darkness. All right. And it says, having an education helps with our ordinary existence, yet we do not place emphasis on gaining knowledge for our own salvation. Those in the world who stand in the sun actually live in darkness, for they do not know how to truly live. Okay, so that's what it says. So basically, it's just trying to find the sun, which is the brightness within, is to me what this quote means. So thank you so much, Paxton, for choosing that number for us and the quote of the day. So with that, if you can, we already have people doing this, so thank you so much. But if you can let us know where you're from, city, state, country, we always like to know where our members are listening from. So please do include that in the chat for us. With regards to today, our schedule is, we're going to start off with a wisdom talk, which the title is Journey Inside already. I'm looking forward to that topic. Next, we'll have the candle lighting, followed by a guided meditation from Monk Daniel, loving kindness, and then my favorite part, which is Q&A. So a little bit about, he has been a Buddhist monk since 2012 with a commitment to progress in his meditation practice and share his passion with the world. He believes all positive change begins from within and that everyone can change their outer world by first changing their inner world with regular meditation practice. So without further ado, let me welcome Monk Daniel.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to have the chance to come to the full moon meditation every month. I hope everyone is ready to embark on that inner journey together, as mentioned with the topic. And thank you for picking the quote. It seems to really connect to what we're going to talk about and experience tonight with the darkness. Usually when we think about darkness, we kind of feel negative towards it, like, oh. But when we meditate, everyone starts from a darkness, right? When we close our eyes, we see darkness in our mind, and it's completely normal. But as we meditate more, we'll realize that in that darkness, there is something special that we can arrive at and feel and see for ourselves within that, so I want everyone to kind of feel like the darkness is a friend rather than an enemy. And we just sit and be patient with it, and we'll see that maybe in that darkness there is going to be something that we never realized was there. So I would like to take a moment to see. Right now, we have a lot of people from all over the US, as well as see from Canada as well, right? Vancouver. We also have people from Azusa, like always, from New Jersey, right? Silicon Valley, New York, New Jersey. So it's good to see everyone from the West Coast to the East Coast, from the South to the North, Georgia, right? So anyone here, is it your first time meditating? Could you please raise your hand? Okay, some of us. It's okay. Anyone, is it your, who here has meditated more than once? Could you raise your hand? Okay, a lot of us. Good. So whether it's your first time or you've been meditating many times, whether we have any amount of experience, I want you to try to treat every meditation like it's your first time. And it's something that we have to make a habit of, because if we don't, we usually go into our meditation with the wrong habits, and we use the same principles when we work on daily life. When we go to work, we like to try hard, we like to work hard, we like to do different methods to get to a result. But in meditation, we have to do a little bit different than normally. So I want you to try to treat every meditation like it's your first time, whether you have any experience or not, and it's going to go a lot easier. So for those of you who raise your hand saying that it is your first time, you are in a good position. Because if you start with the right method from the beginning, it's a lot easier to meditate. But for those of you who do have experience, that doesn't mean you are at a disadvantage. You have a different kind of advantage, which is you have different tools and you have different methods that you know about. So now you just have to apply those tools for the right moment, the right feeling. So you have a different kind of experience, but you can use that experience as an advantage. But for me, sometimes we don't know when to use the right tool or the right method when I first started meditating. And even though I had so many years of experience, it actually could be an obstacle for me. But for you, for everyone here, you're lucky because we'll talk about what we need to do to use those right methods at the right time. And it's going to go a lot quicker and be a shortcut for you. But before we get into that and meditate together tonight, I wanted to talk a little bit about the journey inside. 1 second. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So the Buddha said a special quote that I think is universal for everyone. When he was meditating, he said that Nati Santi Barang Sukhang. It's Bali for there's no other happiness that surpasses the stillness of the mind. So when the mind is still, there's a kind of happiness that comes out of that stillness, out of that release of the baggage that we're carrying all day, from the past, from the future. It gets tiring holding on to all those things. And when we finally let go of everything for a moment, even a moment, we're going to feel a sense of relief. And in that sense of relief, we're going to feel a happiness, a new kind of feeling, a different kind of happiness. And this is universal for everyone and anyone who sits to meditate, because we all have a mind, we all have a body. So it doesn't matter. As long as we sit down and we can still our mind, we can all get to this happiness that he was talking about. But for most people, we spend a lot of time looking for that happiness on the outside. From traveling, we like to go and search for it somewhere else. We like to search for it everywhere except for within us. We like to look for it, in different countries, different places, different people, and different situations. Everything outside of us, we look for it everywhere outside of us. And we do find glimpses of it, right? When we go to a serene place, when we go to, in the nature, we find a very nice spot and we feel like a bliss for a moment. Oh, it's a beautiful view. It's wonderful. I'm glad I made this trip. And then that feeling lasts for a moment or a long time, and then it disappears. Because then our reality sits in and our thoughts from the outside come back, right? And the thoughts from the inside also come back. And then we start to feel unhappy again, or we don't feel as good as we should again. So what we have to realize that, sometimes we don't have to search too far. We don't have to look too far. But actually inside of us, we have a gift in the present moment that we kind of overlook. We were too busy looking over it to some other things rather than looking inside and saying, oh, I actually have something special in front of me, but I can't pick it up yet because one hand is holding on to the future, one hand's holding on to the past. So even though there's a gift in front of me, I can't pick it up. So inside that gift is actually a lot of things. There's a happiness and a pure energy and an inner power that you didn't really realize you have. But we kind of feel like, oh, it's just a small gift. It's just the present moment. There's nothing there. I'd rather go build my future, or I'd rather think about the good moments in the past rather than focus on what I have right now. And it kind of I wanted to remind you is kind of like this, that the journey inside is a little bit different, but I wanted to compare it a little bit to if we journey on the outside. If we journey on the outside, it's like if we go swimming or we go to the ocean, it starts from brightness, right? When we're at the surface, it's very bright and maybe it's peaceful. Maybe it's very calming to look out and not see anything. It's just this horizon and the water. But as we keep journeying deeper into the ocean, if we go underwater, it's still bright, but as we go deeper and deeper, it's going to get darker and darker, right? And there's going to be more pressure until you can't swim anymore and you need different equipment to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And the pressure gets harder and harder and harder. And it gets darker and darker and darker until eventually there's no light, right? So the journey on the outside is usually like this. It can get harder, and it can get darker and darker if we get overwhelmed with things. But the journey on the inside is the opposite. It starts from a place of darkness, right? When we close our eyes, it's dark. But as we meditate more and more, not only does it get brighter and brighter, as we start to let go of our thoughts that are clouding our mind, it's going to start to slowly and gently get brighter and brighter within you. It's not only just a seeing, but it's a feeling of where there's space for the happiness inside of you to expand as you start to let go. So it's going to be the opposite. It's like you're coming out of the deep of the ocean. It's going to get lighter, less pressure, until you come out of the ocean and you're going to see the sun. It's the same kind of experience. As you let go more, your mind's going to get brighter, your mind's going to get lighter. As you let go of the past, let go of the future, let go of everything for a moment, until you're going to feel a happiness inside of you. a true happiness, a happiness that's coming from a new place, which is inside of you. And we can do that by keep practicing our meditation until we get to the point where we'll be able to float above the ocean of thoughts. The way we can do that is going back to a simple principle of a comfortable body and a comfortable mind. Having these two principles is what's going to help you to let go. Because as long as we have these two principles, it's going to help us to relax. And relaxation is very important because without relaxation, we're not able to release. So it's a step-by-step process of relaxing, releasing, letting go. Because we always want to know, oh, how can I let go? It starts from relaxation, finding a small amount of relaxation. At the bare minimum, you should feel neutral, and that's a good starting point. And as you start to relax more, that feeling of neutrality will increase by itself. It's kind of like your body when you relax. The more you relax, the slower your breathing becomes, your circulation slows down, everything slows down naturally as you relax. Your mind will be the same way. You don't need to tell your mind to, slow down, but it will do it as you relax naturally. But the key thing is relax and adjust to how you feel comfortable, what is appropriate for you. If you look at the picture, right, when we start our meditation, a lot of us like to rush our meditation and not observe how we feel. So for example, in the photo, right, as soon as the race starts, the crab runs in the wrong direction, the shrimp runs in the wrong direction because it didn't adjust itself correctly. If you adjust yourself correctly, like the crab, maybe it needs to walk side by side, right, sideways. Or the shrimp, it swims backwards. So it just needs to adjust itself to go into the right direction. So in meditation, the journey is not about how quickly you start, but how you start. So you can make sure that you're going in the right direction according to how you feel. Not according to what you've heard or what your friend next to you is doing, but how you feel and what feels good for you. And that's how we can go into the meditation correctly. So really, you don't need to know too much. Just take it easy, take it slow, balance for yourself. Only you can really feel the balance. Someone can help guide you, but the best guidance is yourself. Listen to your body, listen to your mind, and do what feels good for you. As long as the method you're using at that moment helps you to stay conscious and comfortable, helps you to be mindful and relaxed, then it's enough with that method. So we'll go through it in the guided meditation. But when we're going through the guided meditation, I want you to reflect on how you're feeling and see, oh, okay, is this method helping me to stay mindful? Okay. But other than mindful, a little bit more important is, does it help you to feel relaxed? Is it helping you to stay calm? Is it helping you to stay present in a comfortable way, not in a resisting way? Not in a fighting way, okay? If it feels like you're fighting, if it feels like there's pressure, we need to release, okay? So it's a good way to look at it for yourself. And it's like we're learning a new way to deal with our obstacles and our problems in our mind. A lot of times we aren't used to this feeling of relaxation because we're used to the feeling of resisting. We're used to have to fight with our problems. All right, so it's not like we're running away, but we're changing from resisting to releasing. Okay, as we from resisting to releasing, and then it'll start to relax. We don't need to resist the problem, but we need to release it by relaxation. So the way to do that is, instead of focusing on it, what's making you feel uncomfortable, let's focus on what makes us feel comfortable. And by doing so, you're gonna start to forget about what's making you feel uncomfortable. And it's gonna help you to go into a different place. It's like you change the channel from the bad channel to the good channel. And if we focus on the good will get better. If we focus on the bad, it's gonna feel worse, right? So let's take some time together right now to live in peace, okay? So you don't have to rest in peace. You don't have to wait. Right now, let's take some time to live with peace within yourself, because we can all find that peace in you just by taking a moment to sit and relax. So let's take a moment together to do that. And before we do that, let's all take a second to light the candle on the outside. And when we're ready, we can sit and meditate together to find that candle or find the light within you. Okay? So without further ado, I would like everyone to take a moment to light that candle. And when you feel ready, we can sit down and start our meditation together. So now that we've taken the time to light the candle on the outside, let us take the time to find our inner candle together, the inner brightness that is within all of us. All we need to do to find that brightness is to look in the right place. Not to look with our eyes, but to look with our mind. The way to do that is easy. We just need to begin our journey together in the correct way. So let's take it easy, take it slow. There's no need to rush, because what we're looking for is already inside of us. All we need to do is take it easy. The moment we start to relax is the moment that our meditation begins. So before we jump to our mind, take a moment to start from our body, allowing ourselves some time to adjust so that we can start our meditation in the right direction. As we close our eyes softly, gently, naturally, as if we're going to sleep. Because now it's time for us to rest, to relax. But we're going to practice a special kind of resting, where we can rest our body and truly rest our mind. But first, we need to relax and release all the muscles in our body the best we can. So take a moment to check, to release, to relax all our muscles from our head all the way down to our feet. We can simply do that by breathing, taking a moment to breathe in deeply and exhale slowly a few times. Allow ourselves to appreciate how relaxing simply breathing can be. Feeling our breath, feeling the relaxation as that relaxation enters our body, relaxing, releasing, soothing. As we exhale, allow ourselves to release, to relax, and let all the tension or any tightness disappear, fade away with our breath. As we do this a few times, it will help our body to relax. The key thing right now is to build this foundation of relaxation physically. Adjusting our body to be comfortable, to be relaxed. As long as we have this foundation of relaxation, we can build on it. We can expand on it. So once we feel more comfortable physically, a moment to smile to yourself. A smile to appreciate this moment where we have this opportunity to to simply sit. Our only responsibility right now is our own happiness, our own relaxation. So we can smile that we have given ourselves this special gift. We've given so much time and energy. We've given so much love to everything and everyone. But now it's time to give that love, that energy to ourselves, so that we can be a better version of ourselves for everything and everyone. In order to do that, we need to help our minds to go to the right place, to recharge, to relax. That place is at the present moment, within us, in the center of our body. But to get to that place, we can simply start from where we feel relaxed. We can start anywhere, anyway, as long as the method we're about to use feels mindful and comfortable. So for some of us, that may be to simply repeat the mantra in our mind. Repeating in our mind, Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang. Samma meaning the right way, Arahang meaning purity and freedom. So repeat the method in our mind, the mantra, as if it's a peaceful song, a lullaby, helping to calm and soothe your mind, calling our mind back to a place of peace. Or for some of us, it may be easy and relaxing to visualize. We can visualize the full moon, imagining it in a way where we can feel it. Don't worry about seeing it too much, because we're not using our eyes. We're using our mind to imagine. So we can imagine the full moon, to feel the presence of it. We can imagine it like it's an ice cube, feeling the coolness, the energy. You can imagine like you're holding the moon in your hand, feeling smooth, feeling cool. Or you can imagine like you swallowed the moon and it's sitting within you, making you feel cool and relaxed. Or for some of us, we can use both. You can imagine the moon and use the mantra at the same time. It all depends on how we feel. For some of us, one method is enough. But sometimes our mind may be more busy, so we need both to help our mind stay present, mindfully and relaxingly. The key thing is to follow how we feel, both physically and mentally. We need to be a good listener, a good observer. Because a good meditator knows simply when to do nothing and when to do something. If we feel relaxed, physically and mentally, and we feel for ourselves that that feeling is increasing, then we don't need to do anything. Go with that feeling. See where that feeling will take us. But sometimes we may feel for ourselves that the relaxation is going away, or we're starting to feel uncomfortable. That's at the moment we have to do something. We need to adjust. We need to change the method that we're using. Don't be scared or hesitate to adjust to how you feel. Because every journey, no matter how far, there's always a moment where we need to adjust, to take a moment to rest, to readjust ourselves. And when we're ready, we can continue. In meditation, we need to apply this practice as well. Sometimes the journey inside, we will run into feelings of uncomfortableness, or feeling that there is pressure, or we feel overwhelmed. At that moment, we don't need to resist, but we need to release. The way to release is to adjust. Change to what makes you feel comfortable. It means go back to see what is going to help you be more comfortable. If it's a pain physically, we simply adjust our body. It's okay to move as long as you can get comfortable again, so that we can start the process of relaxing, releasing. The sooner the better. If it's mentally, try to change the method to what's easy, natural, relaxing. Go back to that method. Or change the method from the mantra to the visualization. Or if none of those methods are helping, and the thoughts are being overwhelming, we can simply open our eyes. briefly. And when we feel our mind is more quiet, we can close our eyes again and continue our journey inside. The journey inside should be relaxing, calming, so as long as we adjust to what makes us feel relaxed, every step that we take, every moment, matters and adds up. Every moment of relaxation, every moment where we feel neutral is enough. It will help our mind to naturally and gently begin the process of letting go. And once we let go completely, we'll begin to feel and see the happiness that's inside of us. Because that true happiness is within you. It's like the full moon. It's always been there. But sometimes we aren't able to see it because it's not the right phase, it's not the right time. But it doesn't mean it's not there. As we relax, as we release, as we wait, relaxingly and comfortably, we'll begin to feel and see the full moon of happiness within us. What we need to do is follow our feeling of relaxation. The more we relax, the more we release, the sooner we let go. So let's continue to relax, to release, and enjoy the rest of this meditation together in silence. And now that our mind is more relaxed, and we've taken the time not only to light the candle on the outside, but to light our mind on the inside. So we should end our meditation by adding to this feeling of brightness, this feeling of relaxation within us, by expanding it, by sharing it, simply by expanding this feeling with a wish. Because all positive change can be started from a simple wish from within. And from that wish, we can manifest a more positive outcome for ourselves and for others, starting from what we can change, which is ourselves. So take a moment to wish for yourself, wishing for yourself to be happy of both body and mind, to be free from any suffering, any obstacles, physically or mentally. Wishing for yourself to have happiness and success in everything you do. And may our journey to stay connected to the true happiness within be more smooth, be more easy, and expand this wish not only to yourself, but to your family, to your friends, wishing to everyone and everything the best you can. Be like brightness, being a beacon in the darkness. Don't allow the darkness of the world to overcome your own brightness. Shine this feeling out, no matter how small or how big. Because even the smallest amount of brightness can overcome the darkness. It's the start of something special, a way out. Don't overlook or underestimate the power of a positive mind, the power that we're beginning to understand for ourselves. So spread this positivity. And once we finish that wish, we can come back to ourselves. Come back to where you feel relaxed, mindful, and do the same thing you were doing. Stay with the present moment again and enjoy the feeling of positivity. Feeling the positivity within you and the positivity around you from everyone meditating together. No matter the distance, no matter the differences, as we close our eyes together, all those things will melt away. And we all share the same goal, to simply relax, to release, and find a moment of peace inside. So stay with that moment together and enjoy it. And feel the positivity within you, around you, coming together like all the stars in the night. Like all the candles that we've lit together, gathering to become one. Sapphe Buddha Palapata Pace Kanang Chayang Palang Arahanta Nate Shirakang Pantami Sapaso Sappaputta Nupavena Sappathamma Nupavena Sappasangha Nupavena Sathasoti Bhavantu Te. By the positivity generated in this meditation, may that positivity bless us in every way. And when we are ready, we may slowly and gently open our eyes. Okay. So I hope everyone had a good journey inside. And as we continue to practice more and more, that journey will get easier and easier. It's a lot different than the journey on the outside. Usually the journey on the outside, the more we travel, the more tired we get, right? But on the inside, it's the opposite. If we practice correctly, consistently, it will get easier, smoother, quicker, and the feeling will get better and better. So the most important thing for everyone right now is to be consistent with it. The hardest thing in meditation is not the method. The hardest thing is being consistent. But right now, everyone took the first step in the right direction. And every journey starts from one step. So continue to take the right steps, and it will keep getting better and better. And if anyone is convenient, we can stay for the Q&A if you have any more questions, because I know you may have some, and we don't always have enough time to explain everything. So if you have any questions about your experience or the method, please feel free to stay. Or you can pass on your questions to the staff and send it in, and I'll try my best, or Monk Jackie will help to answer as well. Okay. In the future.
He looks like you already have a question, actually.
Okay.
But before that, let me quickly go to announcements. This will be really quick, and definitely please do stay on the call. This is one of my favorite parts because we can all learn from one another. So do stay for the Q&A. A couple of announcements. Our next full moon meditation session is on Tuesday, September 17th. Please do join us. We've been doing these consistently every month for going on close to 3 years now. So definitely join us, continue to help it grow. Pretty cool. We actually have Marilyn who sent it in the chat that there's a Maryland meetup, and they had 14 people join today online, and then they also had guests as well. So this is a great example of what we're talking about, the fact that we can all share meditation to so many people near your home, all around the world. Right now, I'm actually in the Caribbean. It's the same time as it is in the Eastern Standard Time, which is my home time. So it just goes to show we can connect anywhere around the world. Our teachers in Thailand. So there's really no excuses to meditate now. And this is such a powerful experience for all of us to be one with the full moon and meditate together. So please do invite your friends, your family. Full moon meditation session, which is on September 17th. In addition to that, we do ask for feedback. So definitely, please, if you get a chance, let us know how we're doing. The QR code is right there. I saw there's plenty of people who this is your first time joining us. So please do let us know how we're doing so we can continue to improve. If you filled out the QR code before and you've got another comment you want to share with us, please do let us know. Our teachers love to find out how your meditation experience was. So this is a great way to share it with them. So please do fill that out with the QR code. And also when you log off, it'll pop up as well. Other things, if you don't already know, we do have an app called MindGem. We also have a website as well. You can download the app on the website. In addition to that, you can find our current local centers and find the center nearest you to join, either on site or, of course, online as well. In addition to that, the app is a great resource. Notifications are sent monthly when we have our full moon meditation session, because the full moon does change each month, and that way you are up to date when we've got an upcoming session. So do download that so that you've got it at your convenience. Other things, we do have other online meditation sessions as well that we conduct throughout the week. We've got mind stories, late night peace time. So there's so many ways to stay connected to your meditation. In addition to that, of course, the app, we've got over 200 guided meditations from over 10 teachers as well. So this is such an amazing team to be a part of. We've got amazing teachers, so take advantage of all the resources that we have. All right, so at this time, let's turn it back over to our teaching monk, Daniel. And the question that I saw above Venerable Daniel, let me see if I can find it. There's a couple of questions that have come through, which is great. I saw the first one was from, I think the name is Rabbi. And Rabbi, the question is, how do you control your monkey mind? Which is a very good question indeed.
You know, the monkey mind is something that we all have, and it's okay. And some days for most of us, we spend our whole life trying to learn how to deal with it. I don't want you to worry too much about controlling it right away. It takes time, especially because we've let it kind of do its own thing for many years. And as we meditate, the monkey mind will get more tamed, right? So it's like kind of like we have to train it step by step. Every day we meditate. The best way is to not necessarily force it or, as we say, control it, but it's starting from using something to help it want to stay with you in the present. Like physically, our body is here, but mentally, our mind is like the monkey swinging from one branch to the next branch to the next thought to the next thought. So we have to lure it to stay with us. So we need to find something it enjoys. You know, the monkey wants a banana. So you need to use a method like the mantra, the visualization to be that banana to kind of lure that monkey back to want to stay here, to stay with you in the present. Or you can think of it like a butterfly. Your mind is like a butterfly floating away, flying away. When you try to catch a butterfly, it usually flies away more and more. But if you sit still and just wait, and maybe you get a flower or you get something that the butterfly enjoys, it will come to you and it will land on you. You don't need to go and try to grab it. So it's the same idea. Use the mantra, use the visualization to anchor yourself in the present. But as you can see, when you use an anchor, it's not like the boat doesn't just completely stay still, but it stays in that general area. It's not like you're forcing your mind to stay there, but you're helping your mind to stay there. And be patient with it. Be patient with it. And it will gradually start to calm down over time. If it's too overwhelming in the meditation and the method's not working, the visualization's not working, the mantra's not working, simply open your eyes and take a moment to let go of what was too much of a distraction. And when you feel convenient, when you feel okay, then close your eyes again and continue. And we have to start training our mind again. It's like a habit. You have to repeat over and over. And as you do that, you'll train your mind to be more present over time.
Thank you, Venerable. So the next question is from Paxton. Paxton is 10 years old, and his question is, what does it feel like to be a monk?
Oh, good question, Paxton. What it feels like to be a monk is we are how can we say, the person who is rich from not having anything. Or we have less attachments. It's a lot easier to let go. But as we practice meditation more and more, we have a new source of happiness that we didn't have on the outside. So as we keep practicing meditation more, we can get to that happiness and feel it for ourselves. And we are lucky to be in this position to do that and share the knowledge and experience that we have from meditation to the people who don't know how to do it yet. And, be kind of like someone to help guide everyone to get to that happiness as well. And so that's very fulfilling and very happy for myself. And I know that as long as we keep practicing, like I said, the journey inside gets easier and easier and more stronger. So as you practice more and more, whether you're a monk or not, if you meditate more and more, you'll get that feeling more and more. So it's definitely something that if it wasn't there, I wouldn't be a monk today. So it helped me to stay as a monk and continue wanting to stay as a monk because I realized that this feeling is so wonderful. And as I practice more and more, I can stay with that feeling stronger. And with that feeling, I can use it to share it, not only to myself, but to others. So maybe someday in the future, you can try, Paxton, or anyone else. Or even if you don't want to be a monk, it's okay. You can practice meditation like a monk, which you can do anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, and we have a comment. Welcome to join International Tamatayata Ordination Program. So yeah, there you go. We're already trying to recruit. So Venerable, what are some other meditation techniques?
There's a lot. There's like 40 different methods from the Buddha himself. And usually they are all summarized in what we just did in a moment ago. Because in the end, all the different techniques are to use visualization and to use some kind of mantra or to use some kind of tool to focus your mind. And whether it's to, some methods are to, actually reflecting is a form of visualization. So in the end, everything is just in these three categories where when we're visualizing, when we're using a mantra, or we're simply just doing nothing and relaxing. So whether it's following your breath, whether it's focusing on the rising of your belly, or whatever it may be, all the different methods you may have heard of, we just apply it to it to make sure that method. But most people focus on the mindful part. Oh, I need to be mindful. I need to be present. I need to be aware of everything that's happening, to the point where they forget that you need to be comfortable too, which is more important. Not only are you mindful, but you also are comfortable with the method, meaning that you're not forcing it. You're not using too much pressure. You're not using too much effort, to the point where it becomes, instead of helping you, it becomes a hindrance. This is something we have to be careful with, because if you practice meditation correctly, as I said, it's going to get less difficult. But if you practice it incorrectly, you're going to feel a lot of pressure, and you may even feel like you get a headache. And that's because you're using too much effort, or you're forcing your mind too much. So unfortunately, you can't force it. You can't rush it. You can't rush the process. You have to be gentle with your mind. You have to be kind to yourself. And as you do that, it's gonna repay you by being, as you relax, as you release, as you go with the method that feels good for you at that moment. And I think that's something that people misunderstand, and it makes them feel like meditation is harder than it should be. And so it takes some practice. There's many methods, there's no right or wrong, as long as that method helps you to be mindful and relax. The only wrong method is if you're using it wrong, which is when you feel there's no feeling of comfort anymore, and it's just a feeling of forcing. Okay.
So, Venerable, how do you know if you found the right method for yourself when it comes to meditation?
You have to ask yourself and see yourself, how does it feel for you? Does that method help you to be comfortable physically and mentally? So you have to listen to yourself. You have to trust in yourself. Only you can answer that question, is when you do it, does it help you to stay more calm? Does it help you to stay at the bare minimum neutral? If you're still okay, then you can answer for yourself, you feel okay. I feel good. But if you know that, this is kind of strange, or this is kind of like, I feel like there's a lot of force there, or I don't feel too comfortable doing it, then you need to change to something that you feel comfortable with. What you feel comfortable with may change, and you have to be a good observer to yourself that, okay, let's say in the beginning I do nothing, my mind gets overwhelmed, so I change to using the mantra. When I stay with the mantra, it's okay. As time goes by, maybe it feels comfortable to let go, and then you can go back to letting go. So it's about changing and adapting to what feels comfortable at that moment.
Thank you, Venerable. Another question is, how can you help those around you meditate?
How can you help those around us meditate? Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The first thing is to be a good example. More important than before you try to change anyone, try to change yourself and ask yourself, are you meditating every day? And as you meditate every day correctly, you should be a source of positivity that people can feel and see. And it's not something that you have to fake. If you meditate every day truly, you will start to feel the change where you feel more positive, right? When you feel positive on the inside, what you say, what you do begins to reflect automatically. So as you're a good example, people are going to see it and feel it from you that, oh, this, B did something special. What is her secret? Why is she always more calm? Or when there's a situation that is very intense or overwhelming, everyone else is panicking, but she seems calm and relaxed and she can smile and, be a source of inspiration or be a source of good advice or something. It automatically will happen from your practice as you practice more and more. And before you invite someone else to meditate, or you're at your starting step, it's okay. But as long as you're a good example that, oh yeah, I meditate every day, your encouragement or your invitation will be a lot stronger when you go and tell other people, like at work, come and meditate. And they may see you having like a mini session at work every day, like before you have a meeting, before you take on a phone call, or in the lobby or something, they see you meditating, or they see you meditating in your car for a moment. And it's going to be their own advertisement in itself that they see, oh, she practices what she's talking about. And will be more powerful. But the most important thing is to be patient, not sometimes it's not the right time for them as well. And don't be too, just be patient with your invitation. As long as you put it there, it's like a seed. You planted it, and eventually when the time is right, that seed will grow. And, I always think about too, with my own parents, with my mom, she meditated every day as an example for me. I always see her meditating, and it's just a picture in my mind that I always saw. And she always invited me to meditate. And a lot of times, more than often, I would reject that invitation. I'll say, no, I don't want to meditate. Let me go do something else. But that constant picture and that constant invitation out of a place of patience, it wasn't oh, you need to meditate. It didn't become like a punishment or something like that. It was just like, okay, here's the invitation. You can accept it or not. And she gave that invitation very often to eventually one day I was like, okay, I was feeling very stressed. Let me take a moment to see what this meditation is about. And from that moment, it led to another moment. And yeah.
Yeah, Venerable, there really is something to say about those around you being an influence, because I had a very similar situation too with my own mother, who constantly would try to get me to do good, meditate, which I was not interested in for years and years. It took almost 10 years, and I don't think many people were surprised when I actually did have an interest in meditation. And yeah, it wasn't an overnight, but I think it does go to show that your people around you do make a difference in terms of leading by example and just taking care of themselves. And then slowly, those around them who are close to them, they're going to kind of notice and be curious. So yeah.
Yeah. So you can send the invitation out, but don't worry too much about if they're gonna accept it yet. As long as you did, you did your best. You invited them, and whether or not they're gonna accept it just yet, don't worry too much about it. Keep practicing for yourself, and then also keep inviting them. Don't give up just yet, but whenever you have some time, invite the person you want to. If they want to accept it yet or not, okay. But it's just right now, this day and age is so easy. You can just send the link. Eventually, one day, I'm sure they're gonna click the link and give it a try.
Yeah, you're right, Lumpy. Thank you.
But maybe
That's a good
don't
idea.
be too every second you're sending the link, but
Right.
once a week, and this is just once a month. I'm sure they're not gonna get too annoyed with you. Just one
Right.
link and then say, if you're convenient, you can join. If not, then it's fine.
Right. So Lumpy, that transitions into the next really good question, which is, and we get asked all the time in terms of the connection between full moon and meditation. Is there one?
There's definitely an energy there, but the main thing is a symbol to gather, right? That, okay, this is a good time to come together. And there is a energy that comes to when people gather to meditate together than it is when it's separate. So it's a good way to connect to not just something that's supernatural, but something that we also can create as we come together as a community to meditate together and be a source of positivity from our mind. As that comes together, it gathers together. It's like one ice cube or 10,000 ice cubes, right? If you put one ice cube in your drink, it's not very cool. But when you put about 20, it's about a lot cooler. And you may not see it yet, but I'm sure you can feel it for yourself. When you feel more calm, more relaxed, you feel like when you open your eyes, just you're in the same room, but the feeling is different. And this may be something you don't have to believe me, but you have to experience it for yourself. As when you open your eyes, it's like the world is a little bit brighter than when you started, even though it's the same world. It just passed by 30 minutes. And when you open your eyes, everything seems a little bit more brighter, more good. And that's just the power of just, 30 of us sitting in a room or 100 of us sitting on Zoom. But could you imagine if everyone in the world did it? And this is something that,
it'd be beautiful.
like my master would say, if everyone in the world just took even a moment, if everyone in the world took one moment to sit and calm their mind, the world will change.
Wow. I can only imagine what
it's
that
really
would
hard
feel
to
like.
imagine because we see so much darkness happening in the world right now. But the source of all that darkness is people's minds.
Right. So Venerable, doesn't look like we have any other questions at this time. Yep, I don't see any other questions. So maybe we can kind of circle back on the quote, if you don't mind, kind of expanding on it, Venerable. So I read it and, it was kind of on the spot and I was like, I'm not really sure how to internalize it. So, since we have a moment, maybe you can help, because this is actually very interesting. The first time this quote has ever come up. And I did see a connection with your teaching too, but at the same time, for me, I'd like to understand it for myself. And I'm sure other people might have felt the same way. So with that, I'm going to read it to you so you can recall it. Okay. So it's darkness, and it says, having an education helps with our ordinary existence, yet we do not place emphasis on gaining knowledge for our own salvation. Those in the world who stand in the sun actually live in darkness, for they do not know how to truly live. Yeah, so I read that and I was like, what? I'm not sure what that means.
Okay.
And it's the first one, so it means it's probably pretty important.
Yeah. I mean, basically, our form of darkness and brightness for most people is what we see, right? With what he's comparing the sun to. We're used to, but that's the only source of brightness that we see now is the sun.
Yes.
And when we're in the sun, we feel like, oh, we're in brightness.
Right.
And when we are, the true brightness comes from the mind. Actually, the Buddha compared the biggest brightness is your mind. And it's a different kind of brightness than the sun. So it's like, even though we're out in the sun, we are covered in light, but it's a external light that inside of us we feel darkness, or we may feel darkness. Not all of us, but we'll have moments when we feel darkness. Even though it's like we're at the beach, we're enjoying, physically we're relaxed at the beach, but mentally we're in darkness. So it's like, oh, you're tanning, but inside your mind is also dark. You can be in the brightest point in the world, but you feel darkness within you. But when we journey inside and we practice meditation, it's the opposite. You can be surrounded by darkness, but you feel brightness inside. So it's a true feeling of brightness that comes from within you. And it's in the beginning, it may seem hard to do, but as we practice more and more, it's like, oh, I have a source of happiness within you that can be the right source of brightness to navigate the darkness in your life. A lot of times we have darkness in our life, and our life is not always going to be happy or peaceful. But when we're in those situations where we do encounter darkness, we need something to be a guide, right? We don't have a flashlight, we don't have, or something like that. But if you have a moment of peace that you can retreat to inside, it can be that moment of peace to react in the right situation. And a lot of people, when we get into a crisis or we get into something, we react out of a place of whatever our state of mind is at that moment, right? If it's anger, if it's sadness, we react out of that point of. But if we meditate, we can change that reaction point to, okay, before I react, let me take a moment to calm myself, center myself, and react out of a place of that, out of that place of relaxation, out of that place of positivity. And instead of escalating the problem, we can de-escalate it. Most people, when we encounter a problem or darkness in our life, we add to it. We add to it by how we react, how we think. So the darkness becomes stronger and stronger. But if we meditate, we can train ourselves to react out of a point of positivity, out of a point of at least neutrality. And that can help us to make the same situation less dark. And it's at the beginning of making it even less dark, and less dark. So it's like, as he talked about the knowledge, is like, most of us know the knowledge on the outside. We learn about math, we learn about science, we learn about things throughout our life. We learn. But all that knowledge only helps us to live life more comfortably or get a good job, get a good career, be able to manage our life on the outside. But all that knowledge on the outside doesn't help us to manage on the inside, how we're feeling, how we're thinking. There's no knowledge. Most of the knowledge on the outside doesn't teach you how to deal with your own mind. So what he's saying, that the true knowledge is what we're learning now, is a different kind of knowledge, of a knowledge to help you deal with your internal world, deal with your internal mind. And that's a knowledge that will help you to live peacefully and comfortably and happily from inside. So, the Buddha talked about there's 3 knowledges. The one we learn from, reading, by learning from the outside. The second one is the different level of knowledge. The first level of knowledge is like the basic knowledge that we know, what reading, writing. Second knowledge is expanding or reflecting on that knowledge. What we've learned about, what we've read about, and then we use a different level of knowledge to interpret that. And the deeper level of knowledge, the last level, is it doesn't come from interpretation. It doesn't come from outside. It comes from inside. When you let go, when you relax, when you are still, the knowledge of not thinking. This is deeper. It's like, oh, there can be knowledge from not thinking. That's why Long Bu said stop is the key to success, meaning that when you stop your mind truly and still your mind truly, there's a new knowledge that you learn from that moment. And the longer you can stop, the longer you can stay still, even more knowledge come out. But it's a different knowledge. It's not the same knowledge as reading or the same knowledge as reflecting. It's a knowledge that comes from knowing from that stillness. And right now, some of us may have many questions, but the way to answer everything is just to come and see, practice for yourself, and you'll learn that knowledge for yourself.
Thank you, Mongpi. I feel like that's so powerful. Like it's so interesting because it's actually so opposite, but at the same time, it makes so much sense. Like the knowledge from not thinking, that there's actually like true knowledge in there that's like pure, and it's actually really profound to kind of realize that and have that aha moment. So
I mean, there's so many examples in history. The moment of when someone discovers something, it doesn't come from, like, they use the first level of knowledge first, right? Like, for example, Einstein, he would have to write so many calculations and everything, and then sit back, reflect. And as he's reflecting, there's a moment of where he has to be still, and the intuition pop up. The realization pops up. But where does that realization pop up from? Is a moment of where he sat back, examined what's happening, and then there's a moment of stillness before the idea come up or the realization come up. And all of us have done it before in our life when there's an aha moment. But if you think about it, that aha moment comes after you stop thinking, after you stop reflecting, after you stop. It's the key thing.
Right. Just one of the many benefits of meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Venerable. Okay, Venerable, so at this time it is 10:30. So for all of us who are still on the call, if we can put our hands together to receive our blessing, and then I'll log off of this session, and then hopefully see you next month.
By the positivity in this meditation and all the positive things in the past until now, may all that positive energy bless everyone here to be healthy, to be happy, help to be the positive light inside, to guide you to more happiness, to more success. And most importantly, may this positivity help you to meditate more easily and connect to the inner happiness, the true happiness within you more deeply, more strongly, and everlastingly. And may everyone be able to invite your friends, your family to find this happiness as well. And please be patient with yourself, be patient with others, and just continue to meditate more deeply, and this positivity will become.
Thank you so much, Monk Daniel. It's so good to see you, and look forward to seeing you again in a future session.
Everyone,
and for everyone else, please don't forget, next month, invite your friends and family, and definitely join yourself, and meditate often and meditate well. Bye.
Let's come together to open the new era to eliminate all conflicts and differences. It's time for everyone to join hand in hand. At last, now the world's beyond healing. It's time to change the world. As the one who knew in the past, in this period of our time, we will see before we depart this world. Everyone must join hand in hand to change the world from darkness to brightness, from suffering to happiness, from ignorant to the knowledge one. Change the world, we have to do it the easy way. Be happy and cheerful with childlike innocence. Everyone must join hand in hand. Gently close your eyes, relax, relax. Still your mind at the center of the body and move within. At the same position of the one who knew from the past. Change the world from the era of darkness to the era of light. From the old era to this new era, the world will be like heaven on earth. No classes in society. Everyone will be evenly happy. We speak the same heavenly language. Become as one with smiles of love. We'll be kind, the world will change. The world will change. Let's come together. together.